Hey everybody, welcome to Top 5 Tuesday. The world is in a bit of change right now, and that is why I have my friend Miles from Platinum Tree Financial here to give you guys his top 5 tips.
I guess my first tip is have a blueprint or a plan. Doesn't have to be the best one in the world. You can make changes as you go, but if you really want to know where you're going, you got to figure out like I'm driving to Vegas. I got to put that into my GPS. It's gonna give me these tiny little details, and like until I get on the white mud or get on the freeway or on the highway. I'm gonna drive on the highway for a few hours, pretty much in a straight line at one speed, and then where I get where I'm going, I'm probably gonna have to, you know, drive around and make corners on side streets. And financial stuff is a lot like that because getting everything, all the pieces in motion takes a little bit of energy. That's point one, is that figure out which direction you're going and don't worry about the distance or the speed. Part of that is before you go on that road trip, do your preventive maintenance on your car and, change oil, fill up your washer fluid, fill up your car with gas so that you have all of the tools and resources so that if something comes up, you've got some solution in place that you can use. Like once you've got past that step, it's a lot of like maintenance, just check in, make sure things are going good. Every once in a while, I'm going to use the current situation as driving on a road trip. You got a flat tire, or in this case, it's probably more of a seized engine, and you got to figure out what to do next. So that's probably, I've got a spare. It can get me 80 miles. Then I can get my flat tire fixed. Financial situation, same sort of thing, is have a contingency plan for what happens when things go wrong. And part of the what happens when things go wrong, it's better to have a little bit of solutions for a lot of outcomes than have one solution for one outcome. So if you've only got a hammer, everything looks like a nail. If you've got a full box of tools, I got to cut a piece of wood. I'm not going to use a hammer. Oh, I got to weld something. I can't use nails. Or screws. I got to go and get a welder or whatever tool is appropriate for the job, because there are lots of different types of hammers. There are lots of different types of wrenches and screwdrivers, and the right one makes every job that much easier. Uh, right now, I think there is actually a great opportunity. This is kind of my fourth point, is that there is always some type of opportunity. I'm going to talk about one particular case, is that we're in sort of this unique microcosm of it's been a long time since anyone had to really make the kind of sacrifices that we're probably going to have to make over the next year. And that's little detail things that are going to add up over time, compound effect. What if I'm saving a little bit today on incidentals, like I'm not going for that dinner because the restaurant is closed, and I'm putting that money towards, buying ingredients and teaching my kids to cook because I've got all the time in the world. That's amazing because they're going to learn the value of hard work and how that sweat equity can create wealth, because you're turning a handful of ingredients into pizza, a dinner, or maybe it's, you're going to show your kids how to do woodworking or how to start a garden, because all of these things are skills that I think everybody should have a basic understanding of, but not necessarily, like not everyone's needs to have a garden, but knowing how to build one and the steps of, I got to pick my seeds, pick my date to plant them, and know when to harvest them and nurture those plants. That your finances are kind of the same thing. You plant seeds, you water them, they germinate, you harvest them. And, an apple tree is a great investment, but it takes time to grow. A carrot is a different type of, I shouldn't say investment for seeds, but a different type of prospect, because you're going to plant it in the spring, you're going to harvest it in the fall, and it's your short term, it meets your short term needs. And I guess the last one is that all of these life skills and all these sort of pieces, when they come together to solve the big puzzle, it's going to come down to what I like to call the age of understanding, is where you're starting to piece these things together on your own. Kids understand how hard you have to work for a dollar, or the value of a dollar, but they know how to create wealth. And one of the things about wealth that makes it different than money is that wealth doesn't have to have a dollar sign attached to it. It can be how much time you spend with friends, how much time you spend traveling. Maybe it's the fact that you bought a small acreage and it has a garden and space for a second house in the future. And real wealth is that intangible creation that you're going to create over time from the exchange of value of going to work, saving money, and having a goal of, I want to buy an acreage, and then figuring out how to start at the end. I talked to a speaker a few weeks ago, and he said, you want to write a story, you got to start at the end and work backwards. I want to retire. You know what? I want to work till I'm 55. I want to raise kids. I want to see those kids graduate. Whatever order that needs to be in for you, that's kind of my 5 sort of pieces that kind of need to come together. I know it's very metaphorical. I try to make it as colorful as possible for my clients so that they, we don't have to talk about the money. We talk about the plan, the strategy, and why we're here together collaborating to help create wealth.
Awesome. So, guys, Miles is going to be on the podcast on April 1st. We're going to be getting together later than I usually do the live streams, but we're going to be coming on live around 5 p.m. on April 1st. And we're going to be talking more in depth with some of the things he's touched on today and a few other topics with regards to your finances and what exactly Miles does as a financial advisor. Thank you. See you guys next week.